Today is May 17th, 2023. Believe it or not, over the last few days, so many things have happened. Yesterday, on the 16th, I was in Hartville. People pulled in and said, "We're here to teach her a lesson." Being part of one kid said, "Why should we even care?" "Because we're going to." Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. So the video statements that I have recorded, I know my car is bugged from being an FBI informant, and that retired judge hacked into it and sold it. So I let my phone statements play from Pete punking everybody like he could give out special permission to do this. And the Fourth Amendment. Fourth Amendment, it is the right of the people. Everybody in the United States, you have the right to be safe and secure in your own person. Okay? You're safe where you're at. You have the right to. You have a right to be in your home, your papers and effects, against all unreasonable search and seizure. Okay? Why can't they be in your home? And it shall not be violated. So, violating my home, is it legal? No. Is it admissible? No. Can they look or listen to it? No. That's where Officer Reinhardt in Louisville. We could never look or listen. Even the FBI couldn't be in your home outside a protected light case with statements. They go to jail. Dave can't hire a stalker to stalk me in my home because he tried 4 attempts to have me killed and it didn't work. So he comes up with an idea, gets a hold of a guy connected to the drug cartel that's human trafficking people out of this area. Drug traders from all this area. To kick in my door on the 6th day, set up button cameras, break in and start date rape drugging me, leaving me bruised, beaten, raped, infected, waking up with bruises, throwing up, heart racing, almost passing out, migraines, throwing up, not knowing what's wrong with me, and going to the doctor and seeing for all that. And because I didn't work out of the house, nobody knew what was wrong with me. You put me in date rape, drugged, beat, and raped under drugs. Fits. He can't do that to me. He's not my pimp. He can't hire a stalker. What are they going to say? And I mean, it's going to come down to this. Me standing next to them, next to a Portage County sheriff or a Stark County sheriff. That's a man that said that he kicked in my door on the 6th day. He did what? The one that was said that he was videotaping me in the bathroom and in the bedroom, and me and Dave making love, and he sold it on porn sites. He did what? He broke in and stabbed me with amnesia drugs and roofied my Diet Coke while I was out of the room. He did what? And lied he had sodium pentothal reports. It was him. Date rape drugging me. He beat me under drugs. I had bruises everywhere. And I was throwing up and my heart was racing. I was short of breath. And I was really sick for a while. And then I had a personal infection. They said he was raping me too. He did what? How well do you think it'll go for them? Body slam cuffed? What are they going to say? Dave hired me to do it? You're not thinking how stupid you are. Exactly. Today on the 17th of May, I went into Walmart 62. People came in. We thought Karen's will taped her before. It was just some guy that they hired. Duh, they better arrest him. Exactly. You can't date rape drug, Photoshop shower scenes, and they already know it more than 10 told. More than 10 told of the date rape drugging and telling to say stuff. And the stuff they use, they can control you, everything you do for hours. They left Stephen Eric's name all over this, and that they were the ones doing it to me. And they got Eric High on November 18, 22, 2 to 6 p.m., Walmart 62 by the hair salon. All the tapes before were me and not her. It was my idea to come up with it, my idea to do it, my idea to say it. For all these people turn on and they fell for Okay. Then I ID'd November 24, 22, the nurse to the Canton officer is Eric, the one they've been looking for years, for stalking. On April 15, 16, 23, Danny called Dave, and he finally confessed. April 16th, 23, about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I had my car sparked from the case. I go out to get my vehicle, and Gabe and Jay, my grandson and his girlfriend, walk up to Danny and Jen. I heard what she said to Shane. None of this is funny. He said, I know, I called my dad. Gabe said, I looked at one of her posts. They tried to blame us, and we didn't know anything about it. He said, I know. My dad said he didn't know why that guy confessed. He had nothing to do with it because they framed him, left his name all over, got him high, and told him to confess. In a public place this time. They had the man dead to rights. And he said he had hired some guy named Pete on his own. And it was only Pete up there taping on her aware, and Pete doing all those things to her only before. Pete has it set up. She can't get no money. Pete don't have anything admissible. The right to privacy over your home. You have the right of the people, every United States citizen, to be safe and secure in their own person, okay? And in their homes. Their papers, their effects against any unreasonable search or seizure shall not be violated. You cannot watch somebody with button cameras in their home. You cannot set up tiny cameras. It's a right to privacy. They can never look or listen. It's the Constitution. His big mistake of doing it in her home. Thinking he was funny out in the middle of nowhere, having them set up button cameras on the 6th day while we're out kicking in the door, so that they could Photoshop scenes and then their fake sodium pentothal reports of date rape, drugging me, waking up with bruises, throwing up that I couldn't explain, almost passing out, not knowing what's wrong with me, and I hadn't left my house. Get a personal infection so bad I had to go on medication from the doctor several times, couldn't get rid of it, found out I've been being raped. In the meantime, Dave's making love to me. Sick bastard was still touching me. He's not my pimp. Sex trafficking, he made love to me all the time. You know, with him knowing that guy was taping us, he probably sold it on porn sites for all these weirdos who'd say stuff to me. Do you know that sex trafficking videos, it's highly illegal. In them photoshopping a shower scene and stalking tapes, it's not admissible. And more than 10 people have told the police about the photoshopped shower scene. The drug dealers that helped out, my car was bugged, and they admitted it, and the police heard them, that they put a shower scene in the other room, and they've drugged me and told me to say stuff. And none of this is funny. It's like, why haven't you arrested him? How would you like to wake up with bruises, throwing up, and then a personal infection you can't explain? You know, Dave was probably showing off for his little button cameras so they could sell it. Sick bastard. He's not my pimp. Do you realize they have obtained and dispensed kitty porn? My grandkids use the bathroom where they said they had a shower scene in the other room. They went in there and peed and pooped. Everybody did. They obtained and dispensed kitty porn. Why isn't he in jail? They can't look or listen to it. It's illegal to, but for their confession of their crimes. Do you know I was up in Hartville on the 16th yesterday? And people showed up. We're here to teach her a lesson. The guy said, why should we even care? Because we're going to teach her a lesson. So I started playing my tapes of how they punked him. That Pete runs around. I give you special permission. I give you special permission. He may think he's Tinkerbell with his little wand spreading it around. Fairy dust of special permission. He don't have no authority. He's a retired judge. Messed up in the drug cartel that's from out this area where they're getting all those drugs. Had him come down here and run a scam. Do you know what happened? A few years later, the police and marshals picked up the case that agent started and went and arrested about 1,000 of them. Over 801 sweep, 17, 18, and a bunch of other people. See, that agent where I did call the FBI, and he called me back. He was rude as hell to me, but then listed me informant with $5,000 a month, immunity for life for working the case. Even when you tell, and then had an officer talk to Dave. There's a real FBI case, turn over the police. And he was too arrogant to look into anything. And hell broke loose. But they had a cop talk to Dave, and that's a requirement of the Department of Justice. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements. There's nothing else. It's entrapment. You can't stalk your wife, Photoshop her date rape, drug edit tapes and think you can put her in jail or get her arrested because she won't die. Dave even told Danny on April 15, 16, or 23, where I tried to tell that agent after I called the hotline that someone had told on me to that church. He called me a liar. Flat out liar. Why would I lie? Instead, what's their number? I'll find out who was up there. Because, see, that would be logical. Dave told Danny there's an agent up at that church. He even spoke to him. That he was the only agent from the agency looking into it on his own. Huh? So, yeah, and an officer verified he's seen the agent telling me November 6, 22 to the Canton investigators before I called him back. See, that agent's rudeness cost people their lives. He opened a case with statements, and the police were to take care of it. And I was supposed to get paid, and he never paid me. He never pulled me out. He just let the case run. Still running. He just opened it. Told you, I didn't think he was real. I thought he was a Riri from my ex-husband. So I Googled where he's at when Dave was threatening Dixie and the baby's life. And I found him in his office. And Willie's got a list. I'm working on it. He heard Dave. Dave's phone's tapped. See, I tried to tell that agent. They already knew. He wouldn't listen to me. Tried to tell him about the guy threatening me at Giant Eagle. Was there a camera by the bench? I don't know. I tried to get away from him. I didn't look for a camera. You don't know there's a camera on the bench. I'll put you in jail. And it's like, say you're laying in our house. I'm like, fine, whatever. Badgering laws, Department of Justice 1729. You have to take a victim or a witness or informant's statement if you believe them or not and follow through. Otherwise, it's obstruction, justice, tampering with evidence, and tampering with witnesses. It's 5 to 20 years what he did to me. Then he cost lives. The drug cartel went rapid down here. Told you, I even called them back when I seen the guy and he took off through the side woods. Lady answered the phone again and said, will you tell those police up there to get a hold of it? We're busy. They were too busy and hell was breaking loose. Had the biggest case in the world on his desk. Drug traders, human trafficking people all there. My ex-husband and that retired judge mixed up in it. If you were offered to join the mafia, would you do it? Would you offer to join a drug cartel that's human trafficking and murdering people? Would you do it? My ex-husband did. He hired him to drug me, beat me, rape me, Photoshop scenes, and set off this hate crime. It's him and his girlfriend's father that was messed up in it, a retired judge. They got him dead to rights with the case that agent opened. They needed Preston. And like they said, with that case, they don't even need her. I want you to think of that. They don't even need me. The case stands up. It's like the Amish man with the beards. Stands up in court by itself. Has 2 statements. Where he agreed to protect me, listing me an informant for life, immunity for life, and $5,000 a month for life. He never paid me and he never pulled me back out. He just let it run. Now, is someone going to arrest Dave for his confession? He confessed he hired a stalker. Do you know that's where today, yesterday, up in Hartville, where I let the tapes run where I make video statements in my car and I know it's bugged and they sold it. People walked into Mark's yesterday in Hartville. We didn't think about it before. Of course they couldn't have been in their home. We found out they just hired some guy on his own and he was drugging her, beating her, raping her. They better do something about this. We can't believe we fell for this. Yeah. That's where Walmart today in 62. Some ladies walked in. We thought Karen's Wool taped her before. It was just some guy doing all those things to her. Duh, they better arrest him. Do you know 2 nights ago out on Turquoise Street that Alex was out there? The white-haired guy with his hair part on the side, you could hear him screaming stuff off the distance. Oh, we just taped her, blah, 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 blah. It's just too bad. It's not admissible. It's not admissible. And he's the one that jumped me, 12/21/18, when I went to the refrigerator, stabbed me in the neck and bashed me in my skull, and beat me and raped me and left me for dead, and left his comb on Dave's dresser. And admitted to it in January of 19, 12/21/18. There's a video of him attacking me in the morning. Should be that morning. The client with the double house across from my client's on Turquoise Street We're outside, we called someone, we heard that guy scream stuff at her. We found out he's a serial rapist. Retired Judge Pete is too. See, I have a friend that is a retired sheriff and said, Dave's girlfriend, Michelle, for her to go along with any of this, become that evil, she's got daddy issues. I said, I thought gold digger, well, that too. And he said, I said, well, what do you mean by daddy issues? He said, oh, her dad's had to rape her to make her this evil. That means he raped Alex too. They're serial rapists. That's what they call sociopaths, that they are made by their environments to become evil. But yeah, those people across the street on Turkish Street from my client, the double house, we called someone, we heard that guy yell stuff at her. We found out he's a serial rapist. So was Pete. They were talking about in other towns. They hired a serial rapist to do this to her. I'm not in trouble for their shit. When people realize how much they've been punked and scammed by my ex-husband, a retired judge in a drug cartel, they'll realize how fucking stupid they've been.